don't know, it makes sense, okay?
This is going in.
I forgot you were filming time. No.
You ready?
No.
3, 2, 1. Good evening, my name's Alex Campbell.
And I'm Baby Yoda.
And it's been like 5 months, but once again you're watching Dissecting Track! So, we open up with a ship in the neutral zone, and there's been a battle, as Worf says, and the stakes are all very high.
He's so excited when he says it, eh?
A battle! They just reinforcing the fact that he's a Klingon, and Klingons like a battle.
He's like, oh my god, we've just been going to science place and science place. There's a battle. There's a battle.
And there's
in the neutral zone.
The battle's over, and there's no real battle.
Captain, communication from Starfleet. They have recorded a disturbance in the neutral zone.
Of what nature?
Battle. Quadrant 9, coordinate 070 Mark 3.
But it's pretty amazing. It's like the first Worf episode.
It is the first Worf episode.
And one of the first character episodes, which is really good because I was just like, I remember the episode. I don't remember loving it that much, but I fucking really enjoyed it this time.
I think, yeah, us just like trudging through the mud that is most of the first season. When you get to an episode like this, compared to a lot of other Next Gen, it's down the rung, but it's fucking amazing.
It was so
like,
good.
Wow.
I was like invested the whole way. I was just like, I kind of was like watching. I'm like, I could watch Next Gen, but I was like, I was gonna go to bed, but I forgot I needed to watch Next Gen.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna put it on before I go to bed because I'm not gonna be able to watch it in the morning before work. So I was like, I'm gonna watch it now. And I'm fucking glad I did because I was like, the whole time, you know.
Yeah, it's really well constructed too. I often talk about the 3-act structure and how a lot of times within this like 40-minute like time frame they set up the world and they set up the conflict, and then the third act's really rushed and they're like, ooh, but this was perfect. The third act is really compelling, played out beautifully. So yeah, basically they get onto the ship, and a little problem with the tone at the beginning. Immediately it sets up, it's like tension, suspense, there's a battle. And then it goes into this like ethereal, mystical sequence with Geordie's visor.
That was cool. I love that part.
I like the idea.
I love Picard's like
Picard
reaction
was
to it.
really
He's
like compelled by it.
Oh, so who's that? And it's like, it's obviously Riker. Well, I was looking at him like, it's clearly Riker.
Yeah.
But I understand why he didn't see that. But,
Yeah, I like the idea. It's an interesting concept.
And the fact that he was all like, Data's got an aura. He's like, yeah, it's because he's an android.
Yeah.
Don't you see that? And it's like,
yeah,
no.
It is interesting. And Geordie's vision is just like a spectacle of all this mumbled, jumbled information of like radio waves and fucking sound and visuals and chemical compounds and heat, just like.
But it's so cool the way he explained it, the way, like, how do you, when you're in a noisy room, how do you isolate that? So I was just like, well, that's a really cool idea.
Yeah,
You
our
know?
brains are really good at doing that. Even when we lose a sense, our other senses will like
Heighten to make up for it.
Yeah, it's interesting how our brain functions. Yeah. But yeah, tonally it was just like suspense, and then it's like, ooh, and then at the end like they're really trying to get off the fucking ship, and they get off just before it explodes. I'm like, you guys were fucking around for 20 minutes before this happened.
Legit, like they were.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the vision.
Once the Klingons are introduced, then it ramps up again and it's suspenseful and whatnot.
I did love that moment where Riker's just like, with all due respect, Captain, we kind of have to... Oh, yes, of course. That's right. That's right. A dangerous mission with a ship that's about to fucking explode that you're on.
Yeah, so this is an exploration into Worf's character. As we mentioned many a times before, he was thrown into the first season at the last moment. So he didn't have a lot of character moments for a long time. He was just basically, he was Klingon man. He said Klingon things and he fought people. But now they set up the backstory.
They did, they nailed it too, like, it makes sense. But he was still like, the way he talked about, he still felt it, he still blah blah blah, you know, and the way they described it too, it's like, the Klingons are ferocious, but there's something more to it.
Yeah, they have honor. They're like, they're basically space Vikings, right? It's all about like honor and the code and battle and being represented. There's a scene that's great in this episode because it shows that Klingons aren't just random fucking barbarians.
Yeah.
Where a little girl runs up to the main antagonist and
I love that part.
And Yar.
It's like hostage situation. Yar.
Yar is immediately like, oh yeah, there's a hostage situation. He's like, what? We don't take hostages.
Yeah,
but warriors.
We're not cowards. We're Klingons.
Yeah.
I was like, I love that. I respect that so much. You know, because he held her. It wasn't for a second. He was kind of like just like working out what the fuck was happening. And he just hands her straight to Worf. Which is nice. Although I do feel like there's got to be at least one point during the series where they
take hostages. Yeah. That's fair enough. It's complex, I guess.
Bridge. We have a hostage situation on deck 17.
But yeah, they are much like space Vikings, like the idea of dying in battle.
Spartans.
Yeah, like they got the whole Valhalla thing where like if you die in battle it's honourable. They got long hair and beards. Whereas in like, TOS are just an allegory for like Soviet Russia during like the Cold War. Those damn Ruskies.
Well, one thing I did want to mention about before they got on the ship actually is the fact that they planted the seed about the Romulans. As well, which is going to be a huge part of the series, obviously.
Yeah, I think that's season finale, the neutral zone, I believe.
It's like, oh, could be Romulan, blah blah blah. It's like, oh, that's not a name I've heard in a while. At that point, you know.
Yeah.
Shit. But I do like the way they planted it before it gets to the point, you know.
Yeah, it was nice. They're thinking on their feet too, because we talked about this before as well. But yeah, the Ferengi was set up to be the main antagonist of Next Gen, and they had 2 main Ferengi episodes, and it was just like they're too silly.
Fuck these guys, they're shit.
So let's just get the Romulans back.
Yeah.
Everyone respected the Romulans.
They fucking nailed it, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Ferengi was like a new species, so it's like fuck their new species.
They figured it out later on in Deep Space Nine. Essentially,
it was great.
They're capitalists.
It was great in Deep Space Nine.
And capitalists are bad because this is fucking a socialist utopia.
Unless you're Rom, he's pretty cool.
Yeah, so Worf's character is much like Spock. He doesn't belong to one specific culture, and his whole kind of character is this idea of not belonging. Worf doesn't really belong with the Klingons because he grew up with humans, but he doesn't really belong with Starfleet because he's a fucking wild beast. And same with Spock. Spock doesn't really belong in fucking Starfleet. Oh, actually, no, he does belong in Starfleet really well.
He doesn't belong with humans.
Yeah, he's half human, half Vulcan. So the Vulcans are kind of like, nah, Spock, motherfucker. And then, the humans are like, we don't get you. So it's these 2 like outsider characters that have conflicting ideologies that are playing against each other.
With Worf, you do see over the 2 series that he's in, him be able to embrace both sides.
Yeah.
And become who he's supposed to be with his awesome braided back ponytail.
Yeah, when he gets his long hair, it looks a lot better.
Fucking hell, Jesus.
So this is a great like first Worf episode because as you said, like the next 7 seasons of Next Gen and the next whatever, how many ever seasons of DS9 is
3.
in. Yeah.
4.
He absolutely is on this exact same arc, this exact same character, just trying to deal with the duplicitous nature of his upbringing and his biology.
Like especially when Alexander comes into it, you know, that too. But I think my favourite arc for Worf in general is probably Deep Space Nine. Like,
absolutely.
With the Klingon Civil War and shit. He's having to be like, what the fuck do I do?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, DS9 did Worf better in a lot of ways.
Yeah, fucking knows.
In general.
And then in First Contact, when he's from Deep Space Nine, but he comes back. It's so cool.
The Red Letter Media guys talk about how they just like found more and more excuses for him to be back. Like in Nemesis,
they don't even.
You need Worf. And Michael Dorn deserves to be on the big screen after fucking putting on the shitty face makeup for the shitty show that no one cared about for like fucking years and years. Getting to be in a movie. Oh my gosh. So another big element in this episode I loved was the Klingon Empire, right? Because they've joined with the Federation now, and there's a treaty, but there's these renegades from the past, i.e. the main antagonist, Chorus, I believe his name is.
Yeah, Chorus.
Yeah, and he's like, fuck this. Fuck the Federation. Fuck the treaty.
Go back to the old ways, motherfucker.
Yeah, we want to be
literally
free
if
warriors.
they view it that way, they are on a ship with a bunch of enemies who don't realize they're enemies.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a complex, like, setting up of these characters. It's not like, the Klingons are all like this, and the Vulcans are all like this. It's like, no, they're...
Obviously, there's got to be people in the Empire who aren't happy with this treaty.
Yeah, different fractions.
Would be a lot less by that timeline, but...
Yeah. So yeah, I really liked the main antagonist, Chorus, and his, like, renegade ideology of fuck the Empire, or fuck the Federation, fuck the treaty, let's just go back to raping and pillaging. Whereas the rest of the Empire's like, nah, we need to, like, clean up and, like, evolve and change.
This
and become more
this
civilized.
constant war is no good for us.
Yeah, you can't sustain that for long.
This peace, this alliance is like a living death to warriors like us.
You're right. We lied to your commander. We commandeered that freighter and left the crew behind. And we were in search of a place where we could live our lives like true Klingons.
Yeah, it's much like The Expanse. The Expanse is the same thing. It has like Earth, which is a faction, Mars, and then the Belt, which is the third faction. And the Belt, at a certain point, creates a treaty with Earth and Mars because this fucking crazy thing happens. And then, yeah, there's this guy who's like, no. Fuck the treaty. Fuck Earth and Mars. They've been fucking us over. We need to take it back.
I think I love that in like, obviously I love that in drama, TV shows, but in reality, it's a smarter thing to do because there's bloodshed equaling bloodshed, which equals, oh, but they did this, yeah, but you did this, yeah, but they did this. It's like just fucking...
Yeah, it's just human nature though. We just keep on going through the same fucking loops. Don't learn from the past.
We do,
60...
just very fucking slow.
Yeah, that's fair. We've only been doing it for a couple 100,000 years.
In the grand scheme of like how long the world's been around, we are like of existence.
Yeah, this is very true. Yeah, I also like the way that the Klingons just immediately start calling out Worf. They're just like, you're a bitch.
Yeah, straight up. But he doesn't mind. He's like, I'm talking to Klingons.
Yeah, and
why are you trying to anger me? It's like, no, we just want to see if you can still get it, if we still care. It's like, you can. Something like, it is. It's
yeah.
Like, and then they're kind of like, okay then.
Yeah, they're just testing.
I kind of wanted them to throw their like disruptor and phaser apart and have like a actual physical fight at the end though.
Yeah,
it would have been like the perfect thing to show that he's still a true Klingon, you know? But he just embraces it. I guess I'm not, then
yeah, and yeah, for next gen, especially this era of next gen, it was well filmed. He falls through the glass and then like cut to all these different angles as he's falling. It's very like 80s, like oh, it's like fucking 5 different angles.
I don't care what you look like. You are no Klingon.
Perhaps not.
And then Worf screams and it does like an Alfred Hitchcock like zoom out thing. Alfred Hitchcock, whenever like a character walked in and would see like a lady with her eyes pecked out by birds, instead of the lens zooming in, he'd have like 3 frames of like wide shot, mid shot, close up, because he thought that's how eyes work.
It was kind of more dramatic though.
Yeah, considering what we just sat through, it's very dramatic. I mean, it would have been amazing if, like, you know, it's a high budget, like, Mandalorian style fist fight with Worf and this antagonist. Yeah. Call it TOS of fucking Spock and shitty fucking things.
I was very interested in the fact that their faces were set on kill in this episode though. Like, cause they killed the other Klingon straight up, but it's like every other Starfleet thing I've seen, they always have the faces on stun. The only time you see them use kill is that one scene where they just fuck that cunt up with the parasites.
Oh, conspiracy, blow his head up.
Yeah, and when enemies happen to get a hold of their phases.
Yeah, I don't know, I guess.
Plus, in like later series, the phaser when it's on kill is like a different color.
Yeah, true. So yeah, maybe they're just like, they're Klingons.
Yeah, kill their counts.
They like it, they enjoy it.
Better wait for them to die than what they were gonna get though.
Yeah, they were just gonna get taken to prison and just get executed.
But it's pretty shit security to be able to not check them to see if they had stuff to put a fucking disruptor together.
Yeah, I love how low budget Next Gen is, and it adds this great charm and like element to it. But yeah, when they assemble that weapon, it just looks so cheap and tacky. Kind of undermines
box
it.
with two fucking.
They get like things off their shoes, and just when they're putting together, it's all wobbly and like janky. Like. This is undermining it. I get it. It's so low budget. I mean, they're filming like 22 episodes per season. Like
you don't get that these days. Like
nah. Mandalorian is 8 episodes. This is 22, man. They had like 2 weeks to film every episode. Just roll. Yeah. Where's the prop? It looks like shit. Oh well, we're filming in 10
don't even
minutes.
have the script. Her first draft of the script go.
We got old Genie fucking doing cocaine and writing up new version of the script on the spot, handing the pages off to fucking Michael Dorn and here you go, read it. Action. But it shows that in like times like that you can fucking just pump out material out if you got like a competent.
But it shows that that's what they're doing.
Yeah,
like,
but they're doing it effectively. Like if we were given that job,
it's give and take.
Yeah, they get better at it later on. The effects certainly get a lot better, and the writing, and the acting, everything. It's just like you've been in a job for like 7 years. You're gonna be better at it.
That being said, the acting in fucking the first season of Next Gen is still 100 times better than any of the acting in TOS.
Yeah. It's a different era though, and I love the Shatner fucking over the top.
Not an issue. I'm just
his fucking cadence. Instead of saying there's a ship on the horizon.
Anyway.
Yeah, Lennon was amazing. Yeah. Instead of saying that there's a ship on the horizon, but there is a ship on the horizon. His cadence is really like
I understand that acting's come like a long way, but I feel like back then there was just no good acting.
Yeah, well,
they were trying to find their feet and everything, but I guess it's because like stage plays, you have to be over dramatic for people to really capture it.
They're sitting back there in their seat.
And they didn't realise that for the screen you didn't need to do that.
It could be way more subtle, and the camera will pick it up because the camera's right here. But yeah, the audience was over there. So yeah, they've got these big, bombastic, ridiculous, over-the-top performances if you go back to like the
Planet of the Apes, fucking like all of that sort of shit.
And you think about like the profession too, it was reasonably new. Like film is what, like 150 years old? Acting's been around for fucking ages. But yeah, as you said, the medium completely changed when the lens got replaced, when the audience got replaced by the lens. So yeah, they have no idea. They're figuring it out as they go.
It's fair enough. It's so jarring sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, this is such a good story, but the acting's so bad.
I've always said though, like I'll take a ridiculously silly bad performance and a boring one. So I've sat through like a lot of like 7-part Doctor Who stories that are just boring. It's like, give me bad, like give me silly and stupid and bad and
but
fun.
Still funny and interesting.
Yeah, rather than boring. Like, you can't do
to be
anything boring. Just like
boring's just boring.
Yeah.
Straight up. You can get like old shitty bad acting that's actually not meant to be hilarious, but is hilarious, and the story's still compelling enough to enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, William Shatner, man, he's fucking compelling as fuck.
Yeah, I love William Shatner. Bill, Bill.
Oh, Bill, still going, man. He's like 100 years old.
Oh man, we're gonna have to have a whole episode where he dies.
We will. We'll get fucking Tim on the show and have like an hour. Sit down and talk about Shatner.
You should just randomly bring one to guest star in a TOS episode, eh?
We were gonna do Profit and Lace.
That's right.
One where Quark gets a sex
That's
change.
the worst thing to do for Tim though, because he doesn't like Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, I figured that he knew it for some reason, but yeah. Well, we can just do a random Next Gen episode at some point.
Yeah, I'm cool with it.
Maybe
the finale is
Timmy.
Season 1.
Yeah.
Neutral Zone.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. It'll definitely be a thing in the future. Do you have anything else you would like to add that I missed?
I thought it was the whole Klingon death ritual and the whole empty shell thing was a cool thing to set up. It made so much sense because it's like, yeah, well, not everyone would hold death the same way humans do.
Yeah.
It's a nice thing. It's like, yeah, it is just an empty shell. Everything that is you is gone at that moment. So who gives a fuck?
Yeah, it's a nice little bit of world building because there wasn't a whole lot of them. Well, actually, they're only in TOS for one episode, and they're in Star.
Is that it? Just one?
No, that's completely incorrect. Look at me go, Star Trekking away. Yeah, it's a nice little bit of world building because there wasn't much of them in TOS, and then they're in the films a reasonable amount. But Next Gen is really where
they're in the films a
start.
lot more than any other enemy.
Yeah,
in the
that's
films,
fair.
they are still the enemy. They're like the main antagonists of the films.
Yeah, the third one, they are the main enemy. First one, yeah, they're in it at the beginning. Second one, yeah, they pop up and do their
The
fucking
first
thing.
one, that's like one of my favourite scenes in all of Star Trek.
Yeah.
Oh my god. So,
But yeah,
nerdy.
TNG is really where they start fleshing out the culture and the ideology.
and then they have fleshed it out. So
history.
in Deep Space Nine, they can fucking shine.
Yeah.
You know, they couldn't do anything with Klingons in fucking Voyager. I think there's one episode with a Klingon in it. But
Yeah.
I guess they got B'Elanna Torres, but she's half Klingon.
Yeah, well, the whole thing with Voyager, I was like, we're not going to rely on Starfleet and
And then they end up
Klingons.
relying on the Borg.
And then, yeah.
But it was a different take, which I can respect.
Yeah.
Actually
The
signing
Borg
up with them
stuff
and
was
shit.
some of the best stuff in Voyager.
Fucking oath. Before that, he's like, I mean, who gives a shit about? I can't remember even the cunt's name with the massive heads and the fucking hair and shit. The first bad guys.
Oh, in Voyager. Fuck, I don't know.
That was sad. But it
Yeah.
had Neelix though.
Voyager had some really great, standalone
I love
episodes.
Tuvok. As far as Vulcans go, apart from maybe Spock, he was one of my favourite Vulcans. Like,
Yeah, I feel like they didn't do a lot with him, though.
No, they didn't, but he was just. Indeed. He was so grumpy. Like, Spock was never grumpy. Tuvok seemed grumpy all the time. I'm actually a member of like a Star Trek Facebook page, right? And there's all these people who are just pissed off that Tuvix got separated.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, you killed him. It's like, yeah, but did you really want to sacrifice Neelix and
Two
Tuvok?
characters
You know?
to make one mutant.
He was cool,
Yeah.
cool enough, but I like Neelix. Neelix was awesomely dark and yet happy at the same time.
Yeah, well, yeah, as I've said, he's Jar Jar Binks done right. He's
Yeah.
silly and dumb and goofy, but they find a position for him on the ship as a cook, and then he has this really dark, horrific backstory.
That no one knew about when they gave him this position.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like these two different elements at play, the outside and the inside.
Which made him one of the best. Well, he in my mind, he's still up there with Worf, fucking Odo. You know, he's just one of the alien characters which they nail so well. You know, Data, Worf, Odo, fucking Spock.
Yeah.
All of them, you know, they
Yeah,
nail
that's
them.
fair.
They always nail their alien characters.
That's fair. I'll pay that. Neelix was great. Yeah, so in conclusion, this is a great episode of the first season of Next Gen. We finally get some character for Worf, and it's well done. We finally get some more Klingon
I did
stuff.
want to mention something now, but sorry, you're
Nah,
doing
no,
your
go
conclusion. You're doing your conclusion.
Nah, it always gets
Just
interrupted.
Picard and Riker, how standoffish they were about Worf. They clearly don't know him that well at this point. And they're just really like, I don't know how he's going to react.
Where do his alliances actually lay?
Yeah, and then when he...
And he
actually
doesn't really
does
know.
it,
Because
yeah.
there's moments where he's like in both camps. Like, I don't know, what should I do?
And then Picard's just kind of lazy, like, I was never going to leave. I was never going to leave. Like, alright, good.
They have like the dumb
Sit down
comedy
and they're just
ending.
It wouldn't be the same without you, you know?
It's like, yeah, an 80s sitcom. They used to do it in TOS all the time. They'd have like a really serious narrative, and in the last like 30 seconds would be like Spock and Bones having jabs at each other. Oh, you disgusting Vulcan blood. Oh. really horribly racist against Spock. Fucking Bones. But yeah, to be like this silly, charming little fucking thing. And they did this and that, and it's kind of like, we don't need that. I get it. It's a product of the time.
It kind of disappears, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're not doing that in season
I do
3
feel
for
like
sure.
though this episode definitely lays the groundwork for what Picard and Worf's relationship become. Like I know they in Picard, the actual series Picard, they make it like Data and him had this huge relationship which didn't exist.
Yeah.
But Worf
He
and
was
him,
my best friend. I loved him.
if they did that
Sir,
with
Commander
Worf,
Data's dead. Have we searched? Yeah, we couldn't find him. Alright, let's move on.
yeah, but with Worf he actually does have a relationship.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
Over the series they actually become kind
Yeah.
of close.
I watched this channel called Lorerunner too, and he goes through Next Gen and a whole bunch of stuff. And he was pointing out like the complete difference between Kirk and Picard, where Picard is very much like, really a great diplomat when it comes to Klingons. Like, he knows their culture, he knows their language, he goes down and solves a whole bunch of fucking Klingon problems.
And then Kirk's like, God!
Well, yeah, they killed Kirk's son, so Kirk's like, fuck the Klingons, you dogmas.
I'll never forgive them for the death of my boy.
Yeah, so it's really these two polar opposites, the two captains. One's like, the Klingons, we're good friends, I'm an amazing diplomat. The other one's like,
captain.
That's fine. Rachel's the captain. I mean, they should have put it in.
Yeah, fucking oath they should. Well, at least it's a deleted scene.
If you don't know what we're talking about, I'm not going to explain it again. Just go back and watch every 50 episodes of Dissecting Trek. I explain it at some point.
It was in one of the episodes. Actually, it was definitely one of the... yeah, it's one of our episodes.
Yeah, it's one of the Next Gen ones. Or Picard. You'll find it, or you won't.
It's got Patrick Stewart in the one we're reviewing.
Yeah. Alright. Thank you for watching. Really bad. Like, subscribe, comments, null and void opinions.
You got a cigar.
I was thinking about smoking.
Maybe the Mando review.
And I think it's gonna be a long, long time till touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man they think I am at home. Oh, no, I'm a rocket man. Rocket man, burning out his fuse out here alone. And I think it's gonna be a long, long time. And I think it's gonna be long, long